Hi, my name is Alec, and I'm a rising junior at Saratoga High School. And this is the final milestone for my Core XY 3D printer. This milestone was basically getting the firmware and software to run on my 3D printer and to get prints started. So basically, how this printer works is that there's two stepper motors driving the X and Y axes. Based on how they spin, it either moves this tool head side to side or forward and backwards. And if they move at different speeds, it can move sideways and diagonally or whatever. And basically, it's driving this tool head. There's an extruder on the tool head, which is pushing filament into a hot end, which melts it and extrudes it out. And that's it's going onto the print. And as for the z-axis, it's belted to a stepper motor down here. And every single time the X and Y finishes a layer, the z-axis goes down slightly, so then it can print the next layer. And that's basically how 3D printing works. So my 3D printer, basically, it runs on a program called Clipper. And Clipper is run on a Raspberry Pi, and the Raspberry Pi is connected to a motherboard where all the components are wired to on my printer. So basically, there's two microcontrollers controlling my board. My Raspberry Pi connects to my computer via SSH and a program called Mainsail, and that's where I'm able to control how fast my printer is going, how much it's extruding, and what to print. So while I was flashing the firmware onto my motherboard, that took a long time because I haven't used a Raspberry Pi before, so that was a big challenge. And after I did get Mainsail and Clipper to work on my printer, I made a mistake by short-circuiting out my motherboard, and it fried, so I had to get a new one. And it took me a while to make everything work on the new board because I had to redo all my configuration files. But eventually, I did get it to work, and I was able to tune my printer, and now it's able to print. And as for modifications, in the future, I want to install a screen onto my 3D printer so I can watch when it's printing. I might also install a camera so I can watch it from far away. And I think if I were to make my project again, I would build my printer out of 2020 aluminum extrusion instead of 3D printing like a lot of the parts, because the 3D printed parts are light and brittle. And one time I dropped my printer on the ground and it cracked, so that was bad. And also, aluminum extrusion is heavy, and my printer is experiencing a lot of shaking issues because it's so light. And I think that building it out of metal would make it better.